Here to discuss all of this developments this week and the other big stories, we have Amy Holmes, anchor of theblaze.com's The Hot List, Evan McMorris-Santoro, White House correspondent for BuzzFeed, and David Korn, Washington bureau chief for Mother Jones magazine. Everybody, thank you for joining us. I thought I would just start by this because it's not every day you see this kind of consensus. These are the two tabloid papers here in New York that sort of drive the news media here in New York. This is the cover of the New York Daily News on the Goodell press conference yesterday, and you can see it here, I think. That's it. That's the cover. Now, look at this. The rival tabloid, the New York Post, that's it. The exact same headline, almost the exact same picture. I mean, these papers hire sort of the best and brightest, most creative minds to come up with these, and they come up with the exact same thing. But it's almost like, what else is there to say after yesterday?
Well, I think it was pretty obvious. That was everybody's reaction, that he didn't come, someone clearly gave him a crisis manager who said, go out there and say you were wrong, and say nothing else, promise better results in the future, and he stuck to that script and said it again and again, no matter what the question was. Now listen, this guy got paid $44 million in 2012. I'll take $10 million for the job, and I'll say more in the next press conference.
But maybe is it his job not to say? You'll say more. Maybe they don't want.
It looks like his job these days is to make the NBA look good. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, the key phrase here is too little, too late. And I think anything short of his resignation was not going to be satisfactory. And David, you make, I think, also the other key point, which this is big business. This is all about money. I mean, Ray Rice, he's still going to get his paycheck, which is something close to $700,000 per game, people. So, is it any surprise that there is a cover-up of this player's, obviously monstrous behavior? I mean, it sort of reminds me like of the old studio system where actors were getting into all sorts of scrapes and the studios would cover it up and do their marketing spin. I think the only surprise here is that the NFL, which is generally a genius at marketing what is basically an entertainment product, has gotten it so badly in this instance.
Well, imagine if Roger Goodell was a governor. And this is a state scandal, a state political scandal. That is the press conference that they give when they think they can weather it, and they end up not weathering it. I mean, I think he can't keep going forward with this kind of message.
Are you saying he pulled a Christie?
I think he wasn't the best.
Well, Christie says he's. We'll talk about that. Yeah. That's tomorrow's show. But
because the thing is with this NFL thing, it goes beyond Ray Rice, beyond domestic violence. I mean, this whole league, this idea that they have to sort of learn about things like homophobia when it comes to Michael Sam, the controversy about the Washington NFL team name, now domestic violence. I mean, this is just a picture of an organization that has just no clue about the modern world. I mean, the thing is like an active crime scene over there, and I just don't feel like any of the things that Roger Goodell said yesterday are going to solve any of these problems. I mean,
it's having no clue. I think it's having an investment in the money that the NFL made.
And now that the former FBI director, Robert Mueller, who they've hired to investigate, this guy is a really straight shooter. I'm not sure this is good news for Roger Goodell. People pointed to initially as a PR move to sort of put this onto another plate for a while. Right. But if he really digs in, that ESPN story that you quoted all the right portions, so people don't have to read all the 7,000 words. But it really paints a picture of them not wanting to know. Well, we don't want to see the video because then,
the ESPN story does. It is two things here. There's an issue with the Ravens organization, and among other things in this report, a couple things that jumped out at me in addition to what we quoted there. John Harbaugh, the coach, apparently early on in this thing, according to this ESPN report, wanted Ray Rice released, and it was the higher-ups in the organization, including Ozzie Newsome, the general manager, who were saying no, and they were looking back and they were saying, the Ravens, if you remember, Ray Lewis, the linebacker, had been charged, with a homicide about 10 years ago. They said, well, we got through this, so we're going to have no problem getting through that. And this was the most extraordinary thing, though. I think we have this. Apparently, this is in the ESPN article. The owner of the Ravens, this past week, after releasing Ray Rice, sent him 2 text messages. The first text message, according to ESPN, from the owner to Ray Rice: hey, Ray, just want to let you know we loved you as a player. It was great having you here. Hopefully all these things are going to die down. I wish the best for you and Janae. And then following it up with this: when you're done with football, I'd like you to know you have a job waiting for you with the Ravens, helping young guys getting acclimated to the league.
Oh, boy.
Listen, why is there a 7,000-word investigation? There should be 2 words. You're fired. Most of us would be fired for this kind of thing. And as I say, these are very highly paid entertainers. I don't know if they have a morality clause in their contracts, but we don't need former FBI directors. Roll tape, get that guy out of there.
I think we're learning about the machinery of the NFL, and I think that for all the sort of slickness from the outside and how strong it looks and how powerful it looks as an organization and as a business, really rickety, and it's very archaic, and it needs a lot of advancement. And if Roger Goodell thinks he can do it, then maybe he can do it, but they're very far behind.
To Amy's point about it being a business, a poll came out this week. 90% of people say they don't care about these scandals when they think about watching the NFL.
Right.
So it's about them. It's about getting, as he said, getting the game on Sunday. We'll talk about this after the game on Sunday, because the game on Sunday is when we make our money. So, so unless there's really a pinch in the pocketbook,
the players, all of the marketing around there.
Fans out there rallying around these teams.
I think you're right, though. I mean, a lot of people have looked at the sort of the way this investigation is structured, with Mueller taking over right now, and you have a couple of these owners who are close to Goodell overseeing it. But I do think Mueller is somebody who values his reputation.
Oh,
and this is a legit investigation.
No, this could go down other paths as well. When you put Bobby Mueller on the trail, he may find more than you want him to.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, that press conference may not have satisfied people yesterday, but that does not necessarily mean that is the end of this. And obviously this ESPN question raises all sorts of more questions as well, but also other questions this morning, including about how that guy got into the White House overnight. We're going to be talking about that as soon as we come